Hey guys, I made it to Zhengzhou, capital of Henan Province. Yesterday evening I just hung around the hotel and there was a very strong manga anime vibe around there. A lot of kids, young people cosplaying, wearing like animal ears and tails and with their hair colored in many colors. It was really interesting. I didn't expect that at all. Now Zhengzhou itself is the capital of Henan. And judging by their lack of interest in me, I think they have more foreigners here. Now, related to the three kingdoms within the city, I don't think there is much. I don't know if Zhengzhou had a presence at that time, though it might have been close to Chunliu, the first base of Cao Cao. But around the city, there are a few landmarks that I really want to see. One of them being Wulao Gate, Seshui Pass. Not much to see there. It's mostly for the site itself. And today, I'm actually going to visit, again, two tombs. The first one being a very, very small tomb, apparently. Not much to see, but it is the tomb of the great general, the most fearsome general Liu Bu. And the second place I want to visit, is the mausoleum to Liu Xie, last emperor of the Han Dynasty. It's a bit far, need to take the train, then hire a driver, but it should be worth the trip. Alright, let's go to visit Liu Bu. Hopefully he will not pursue me. So if you want to see Liu Bu's tomb, the best way that I found is to take a train from Zhengzhou to Wuzhi station. Then hail a ride, a taxi, to the tomb. That's about 15 minutes drive from the station to the tomb. And then you can take the same ride to basically head to Liu Xie's mausoleum, Chang Mausoleum, which is maybe another 30 minutes by car. I'll tell you when I get there. But that's an easy trip to make from Zhengzhou compared to some other destinations. I'm still trying to arrange for tomorrow's Wulao visit. It seems a bit tricky, to be honest. I think Guandu might be even more difficult. I will not have the chance to visit Guandu this time. I don't know much about what can be seen there, but it is also possible to go to Guandu and Wuchao. I think there is more at Wuchao than Guandu itself. This being said, just want to point out that so far what I've seen of Wuzhi is really cool. It looks like a beautiful, fairly modern town. So I think that would be worth staying a little bit, but not this time. Alright, I find myself again walking across a field. I hope this time there will be no snake, but here I am at Liu Bu's grave. Hada? In the middle of a countryside, but here it is. The mound for Liu Bu, the resting place of the most fearsome general of the late Han Dynasty, the bane of Dongzhuo. Now, Liu Bu is one of those characters that was heavily romanticized throughout the history, and the fact that he was buried here is a sign that he was maybe not as important as the Romans of the Three Kingdoms made it sound, but he was nonetheless a truly fearsome figure who was apparently very tall, very strong, amazingly brave and skilled in battles. And no matter what, China owes him the death of Dongzhuo. Now it has to be said that Dongzhuo was the second master, adopted father almost to Liu Bu, and the second one he betrayed. Then later on it betrayed more historical figures such as, in a way, Yuan Shu, but more famously, Liu Bei. So Liu Bei welcomed him in Xu province, and then Liu Bu used a moment of absence to take over Xu province for himself. So he had a bit of a fickle nature maybe, and which is why perhaps he ended up in this place kind of forgotten. So he didn't use that famous double crescent halberd, or polearm at least, that he's often portrayed with, but that he's not the only one. Many historical figures from the Three Kingdoms didn't use the weapons that were given to them throughout history. Guan Yu most famously didn't use that famous blue or green dragon crescent halberd that we always see him wielding. Same for Lu Bu, he would have used a spear, maybe swords, but not that sky-piercing halberd that we often see him with. I'm really humbled to be here near the grave of Lu Bu, a grave that was forgotten for so long, though apparently not by the people nearby. They knew this tomb existed, but they didn't know who it was for. They had so researchers, archaeologists had to dig the grave to find out who it was here. And I guess they were really surprised when they learned it was Lu Bu, because Lu Bu died very far from here in a modern-day Jiangsu province near at Xiapi. Back then that would have been called Xiapi. I think now it's Piju. So how Lu Bu ended up here, I have no idea. I don't know if anyone knows, but it seems to be his final resting place. Though of course there are a lot of debates about is it really here or not. Now the place itself is really quiet. It's not so bad, but think about it. This is the tomb of the most feared warrior and general of the Three Kingdoms period. I brought some some treats for the general Lu Bu. Then let's go to see the final resting place of Emperor Xian and his consort, the Empress or former Empress Cao Jie. Now it's truly an honor, seriously, being here, you know, near the tomb of a character that shaped the end of the Han Dynasty and Chinese history in general. And he was a really disputed figure in terms of he was seen maybe as lacking honor, and there were a lot of romanticized version of him, and even there's a lot of romance around this character that makes him such a modern tragic character and historical figure altogether. But nevertheless, he was a man that shaped his time, that fought a lot and with courage all the time. We'll never know how he truly was in terms of, was he really a brute? Was he a more strategical mind that history reminds him as having? He met a fairly tragic end, and maybe the location where we can find his tomb is a sign of it. So now there's always a chance that's not exactly his resting place, but it's quite lucky to be here and to visit this place like this, because there is this newfound love from China for its history, and such an important character is bound to have a grander resting place at some point, maybe a bit more touristical, maybe a temple around it or something. So coming here and visiting Lu Bu's tomb, so barren, is really interesting, really important. I hope you'll get the chance to meet him as well.